curious on another tip, man. We're talking about how it changed from, when you had the comic books code to deal with and then it dropped. How did it change when you were suddenly under the mouse?
Honestly, it didn't really change much at all. I say this. We've been given interviews about this stuff for now,
Yeah,
more than a decade, and as much as I tell people this,
they just don't
they
buy it.
yeah, they just don't tend to
That's
believe it.
that's funny.
And the same thing, not just me, but everybody else that's been there and been around. You know, before Marvel was owned by Disney, Marvel was owned by people and had people in charge and so forth, and they would lay out, here's how you do it. And so all it is some slightly different people doing exactly the same thing.
All right, all
But
right, all right. I
like,
totally. We don't need to go into this
okay,
anymore, and I'll say because specifically, Tom, I guarantee they can go find 6 other interviews where you've done it, right?
yeah, yeah.
Right. All right. So to hell with that. Right. That's no longer my question. My question is now, why is it, do you think, once you guys had Disney behind you, and I mean, you had success with films as far as, and I'll always give Blade the initial shout out, right? To the point where I'm like, yeah, Blade, what's up?
Yep.
What's up? Right. That's from Wizard World way back in the day. Um, way back in the day. Uh, to when Disney bought it, they were able to take even they took characters that like, and I'm not trying to besmirch the Avengers when I say this, but when those films were started, those were not Marvel's top tier characters. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, Iron Man was up there, but he wasn't standing next to Wolverine and Spider Man. You know what I mean?
Sure, sure.
Right? And,
That though is just, and I can't give you anything more than cursory stuff because all the studio stuff is separate from what I do.
all right, well, no, no, no,
Um, but
hold on.
but like that's just they made a good movie and then
Oh
they
yeah,
made another good movie and they made another good movie. That's all it is.
but here's my question,
Uh,
right?
yeah.
Why is it do you think they were able to take those characters, make great movies, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that they had dealt with creators and the people that are actually writing them, whereas opposed to Warner Brothers has everything.
Hmm.
And for some reason they don't seem to be able like they're having problems. Whether it's the fact that the films are bad for personal reasons where directors had to leave this and that. I like the Snyder cut. Sorry, the Justice League is shit. I like the Snyder cut. It's long as
Hmm.
hell. I wish it was 2 movies, but it's a good piece of art in my opinion. But then you've got like 84. Um, and so many things. What is it you think that keeps them to where they just can't assemble a universe, it seems. Like Marvel, backed by Disney, has been able to do
Well,
so well.
I think it's super simple. Uh, really. Uh, and what it boils down to is they're not committed. They've never been committed to building a universe, and they've wanted to start. They make the same mistake that everybody who talks about cinematic universes does. They want to start with the universe before they have a movie. Like the real secret, I think, of what Marvel Studios and those guys built, Kevin and his teams, is they didn't start and go, well, we're going to do Avengers. They went, we got Iron Man. We're going to do Iron Man, and we're going to make people care about Iron Man. We're going to make Iron Man this super successful film that everybody loves. And then we're going to do a sequel. And at the end of the sequel, we're going to tee up our Thor movie. And then we're going to do Thor. And then we're going to do Captain America. And we've already done the Hulk. And then only at that point are we actually going to put the party together and do Avengers, which was a huge step up and a huge blockbuster. But it worked because they built all the foundation beforehand. The problem that Warner's often has run into, and other studios as well that have tried to do this, is they all want to start with the Avengers, and you can't start with the Avengers. You got to start with Iron Man or Thor or Cap or the Hulk, and build your way there. But everybody, like every movie studio in the world looks at this and goes, Avengers, cha-ching, the dollar signs light up in their eyes. That's the one they want. And none of them are patient enough and disciplined enough or are under so much pressure. Those guys,
Nah.
guys doing studio jobs, those are not easy jobs, particularly when things aren't going well. None of them can convince the people above them or whatever to go 3 movies from now we're going to have a really big one. They want the really big one now, and so
Yeah.
inevitably it it doesn't work. And every mishap they have, they start to double down or question it. Maybe we shouldn't worry about a universe. Let's do some other movies that aren't connected. And oh no, now we want it all to connect, but it doesn't really fit. Well, let's, like you got to kind of like pick your lane. The real answer is just do a bunch of good movies,
Can I
which
say
is
real quick?
harder. It's harder than it sounds,
Yeah,
but that's
it's
really it.
you make me think of like what Doug Wagner said when we were talking about his, because I would love to see Plastic or Vinyl as a film personally. Um, but he said, I don't remember. He's like, I've dealt with some of those Hollywood people. Frankly, I don't know how anything gets done and how any of it's good, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but I just got to admit, I've given this pitch once on this show, and you being such a fan of Superman, Tom, I want to know your opinion of it, right? So here's what I say, right? Let's do another Superman movie. Get Henry Cavill, right? And since he's apparently gonna play Lobo, Jason Momoa, I think I've got that last name
Yep.
proper.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Since apparently there's rumors he's gonna play Lobo, let's just cast him as Lobo, right? So you have it to where Lobo's on Earth just breaking shit, and he's like technically looking for Brainiac, right? Right, but he's just breaking
Mhm.
shit looking because he's Lobo, right? And that's just kind of what he does. He's gonna go around. He's the baddest, so he's gonna find Lobo. He don't get in his way. And Superman suddenly runs across him like, dude, you need to chill out. And he's like, you need to get out of my way. And they just start fighting. No explanation. Like so, this dude just starts swinging at Superman because he's Lobo, right?
Mhm.
Whatever, right? And then you eventually have it come to the point where they're like, oh, he's like, you're chasing a villain. Yeah, man. Why'd you try to get in my way? Look, can we just calm this down? And they team up and they get Brainiac.
Right.
I feel like that's an awesome film. Yeah,
It certainly could be.
yeah. I like
It
that.
certainly
I
it
like that
certainly
pitch.
could be.
Yeah, I really like that pitch, especially now that Jason Momoa is apparently going to play Lobo. I'm like,
Mhm.
somebody just flat out needs to make that, right? So let's say, Tom, if you could pitch a Marvel film, right? Like, what's is there a crazy Marvel like story or something you would love to see in the cinematic
I
view?
I don't know that there is, because those guys are already doing and have already done stuff that's way more out there than anything I thought they would ever do. Like there's literally nothing that Marvel has that I don't think, oh yeah, they could turn that into a movie or TV. They just did Man Thing in that Werewolf by Night one
Yeah,
off,
and look, and that was awesome, Tom. Might I say too? Like,
Right.
I really loved how they did that as far as bringing in that darker side, and then they played it in black and white, and just
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
Werewolf by
So
Night was done
so
really
like,
well.
in a world where that's a thing, in a world where there are Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas specials, like there is nothing.
Okay, well
There
let
is
me
nothing in Marvel's back
yeah.
catalog that they couldn't potentially do something cool with. So I don't really have a thing like that. They're
You don't have
now,
a personal favorite even that you
well
would just like
well
to see?
well there's, they're gearing up to do a Thunderbolts movie, and that occupies a particular thing in my world because I helped create that. It was really Kurt Busiek and Mark Bagley, but I edited it and I helped to put it together, and so that's a comic that starts with me. It didn't exist before me, and those guys made a thing, and now they're going to make a big movie. And that movie won't be the same as the comics that we did necessarily, but it wouldn't exist without the comics that we did. But I have a bunch of those. I did the Winter Soldier stories in Captain America. I did Civil War. I did Infinity that introduced the Black Order. I have a whole bunch of this stuff where you turn around and now it's on a movie screen, and some real person is dressed up as that character, getting paid a lot of money to punch some other characters, and that's all like super cool. So again, maybe Thunderbolts is a little different just because, like, Captain America was there before me, and Captain America will be there long after I'm gone. But Thunderbolts kind of starts with my crew and me. And so now there'll be a movie. But
It annoys me,
again,
I swear, a little bit. I know we've had a past guest that worked heavily on that, and I can't even remember exactly who it was, and I don't want to misquote somebody.
that would probably have been Fabian. You mentioned
That's
Fabian
the
before.
that my brain was like itching at that, and I'm like, and I even looked around because like, yeah, and I was like, it was Fabian, wasn't it? It was Fabian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you
Mhm.
for not making me. Yeah, but no, yeah, okay. I was 99% confident. I'm like, I will not look like a fucking fool. Um, I do that to myself often enough, far too unintentionally. Um, but yeah, man, like with the Thunderbolts? Can I say too? I just want to see the iteration of the team that's Ross, Wolverine, Deadpool, and Elektra, because
Mhm.
that would be awesome to me. Because
Sure.
because I
Sure.
think that would be funny. But I don't think Hugh Jackman's gonna play Wolverine that many more times.
I the fact that he's going to do it one more time is already one more than anybody thought you were going to get. So
Yeah.
like let's actually get that movie before we're hoping that he'll come back for yet another one. Uh,
I
Well,
know, like I said, I
it's
think to get to that movie
he's
though,
so tired
he'd have to
in that
come back
role.
for like three or more at least. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah, but
minimum.
it's also like diminishing returns. Like it was super cool to see, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire show up as Spider-Man again in that, No Way Home film, and all those old villains. But I don't know if that immediately makes me go, "Oh, now we should just do a whole bunch of more movies with those same guys." If there's a story that warrants it, yes. But otherwise, like, they did their thing. This is them coming back. It's exciting because it's nostalgic. Like you remember watching those movies, whatever, 15, 20 years ago, and you got a real emotional connection to it. And of course you want to see more, but that was of its time, and that time has passed. Not that those actors aren't still great actors, and not like you couldn't still do stuff, but I don't know all those cries to do, oh, they got to do Spider-Man 4 and they got to do Amazing Spider-Man 3. Yeah, none of that's going to happen. These guys are like all 10, 15 years older now.
Yeah, I mean, you
And
already
those
got
aren't
you.
the Spider-Man movies that you're necessarily going to want. Like it's super cool to see them again, but it's take it for what it is, and don't get greedy with one more. Give me one more, Toby, just one more. I need one more movie from you.
Yeah, because I've already seen complaints from, or I mean, I've seen not complaints, I shouldn't say, but I've seen things where Hugh Jackman's saying it's far more difficult to get into superhero shape because he's way older, and I would assume, especially for Tobey Maguire, that's the case. But with that, I just have to say I would love to see if they were going to bring Tobey Maguire back in some capacity like that. I'd love to see them do Spider Girl, and him just being
Sure,
older Peter
sure,
Parker. I think that would be cool. But as far as to
yeah,
bring them back, like, you know what I'm saying? That way you're bringing him, but you're also bringing a new character.
right,
It's,
right.
it's
It's
not
kind of
been,
like
yeah.
what they're supposedly doing with Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yeah, as far as
You
bringing in
know,
Batman
it's
Beyond.
the same. It's the same sort of thing, and you still get the nostalgia of that's the guy that was Batman back in 1989. And there he is, still being Batman, but older Batman, and that's cool. Like there's an appeal to that that's just it's primal. But like at that point, do you need there to be three of them? Like, do you need three more Michael Keaton movies? I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's what I'm
If you
saying. I
got
think
the
yeah,
if
the
you
only,
got the stories and you got the material, then yes. But more likely, the answer is like here. It's like a little gift. You got a little confection. You never thought you'd see that character in that way, in that role again. And here you go. Here's a little more, a little cherry on top. Don't get greedy for another cherry and another cherry and another cherry. Or go, oh, that was announced, and so even before you got that cherry or ate that cherry or whatever, you're already salivating for the next cherry. Maybe they could come back again and they could do this.
no,
Like be
no.
be
I'll tell you
happy with
what.
the stuff that we're getting.
Yeah,
It's
let's take
it's
that
it's
and
already crazier than you would have ever expected.
all right,
Like
yeah, let's take that though, Tom, and I want to flip this in a whole different way, man. So that's what we're gonna do. Um, you're saying everybody's getting greedy; they want their cherry, man, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that we as a society have become where we can get almost anything instantaneously. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. That's not even a
sure,
conversation. Yeah, like you got streaming services out the ass. You got TikTok giving you 3-minute videos that, hey, follow us on TikTok, the Questionnaire podcast. But TikTok giving you 3-minute videos that are numbing the minds of fucking everyone. But hey, go read some comic books too. Get your comic on. Um, you know, do you think that affects the comic book market as far as if you're reading comics, and I mean the way they're consumed? Like if say I'm reading the X-Men, I get one issue a month. You know what I mean? And then that's all you get
Mhm.
of that story. You have to wait. Do you think that affects, especially in the younger generation, the fact of they're like, I don't want to fucking wait, where maybe they're more prone to buy just graphic novels or even just move away from it as a whole based on that? This is a previous conversation we've had with I don't
Right.
remember who the hell.
I think it's. I mean, I think that that's true, but I think that that exactly reflects how that younger audience is coming to this stuff. Like most young people who come into reading, what we think of as mainstream Marvel, DC, Image sort of comics, generally a lot of them are not going to comic book specialty stores. The way they consume stuff is they get collections, whether they order them on Amazon or at local bookstores or their libraries or whatever. Like and so they're not geared to feel like I got to be there every Wednesday. I got to buy the new books. I got to see what happens. They're geared to I'm going to buy the book. It's going to be this thick. It'll have 6 issues in it, and then maybe 6 months later I'll buy another one. Or if it takes 7 months for me to get it, that's fine too. Like you get a bigger chunk in a shorter period, and that monthly turnover and that almost church like I go every week to the comic store and I buy the new comics. That's not how the younger generation these days is getting into this material. They're getting it as collections, and some of them find their way to comic shops and are like, crap, look at all this stuff that's here, that's pretty cool. And some of them become regular monthly readers because they can't wait and they want it now, which is so much about what drives so many of us as collectors and readers. But for the most part, like broad demographic things, it's whatever you saw or are about to see some upcoming Marvel thing or DC thing. And so, okay, I will read this. There's a Batman collection. I'll read this thing before I go through that movie or after I've seen that movie. And I'm gonna, get my 200 pages of stuff, and that's great. And at some later point, I'll buy another one, but it doesn't have to be the next day or the next week. It's just a different way of thinking, and a lot of people. And I know it makes a lot of the older readers and things like they get jumpy about it. Like, oh, they're not the young generation's not coming in, or they're not buying the. They are buying it. They're just not doing it the way we did it because it's a different world now. A lot of them are also doing it digital. So you press a button, and there's your thing. You have to change your Apple Pay or whatever for the cover price, and there's your book. Or they're doing things like the Marvel Unlimited, which is a super good deal if you're doing that. And there's just like tons of stuff, and then they whenever they have time or whenever they want to poke around, they'll read 40 issues of Daredevil that are there, whether those were the last 40 issues we published or ones we published 10 years ago or ones we published 30 years ago. And that's the way they like it. There's all these different avenues into reading the material that we do. And so it is sort of weird that everybody is so obsessed with it just this one way that it has worked for so long. And that's why all of those statistics and sky is falling things are just they're nonsense. They're not looking at the whole picture. They're looking at a tiny sliver and going, there are not as many people going to comic stores. That's true, but there's way the heck more people, buying collections and buying digital and things that didn't even exist back in the day when we would do that.
And can I just say real quick, as far as going to the local comic store though, man, because look, I only buy graphic novels anymore. It's because one, I'm a certain degree, I'm trying to catch up on certain things, and I'm not trying to pick up issues and be like,
Yep.
I'm trying to backtrack a little bit to be real honest,
Yep.
right? As far as just gathering my shit together, because things have been odd, but whatever, we won't get into that. But you can go into your local comic book store. Yeah, mine's Comic Book University, right? You can check out their website. Just add a .com to that. And the whole graphics for you too. I know because Dave does it for me all the time. Hell, sometimes I'll have a guest on, and then like I'll end up fucking messaging Dave, "Hey, dude, you got this in the store? Yeah, put it in my box." That sounded fucking terrible. Hardaway, ask a question. I've asked many.
Through life and through death, either or, who would you choose to be the composer or songwriter for the soundtrack of your life?
Ooh,
Oh man, that's a good question for which once again I am not going to have an answer. That is just too broad for me. And honestly, my musical tastes run close to non-existent. They're just eclectic nonsense. So
I mean,
it's
look,
not like I have artists that I go, that's the guy. I have a song here or a thing here, but it's just not my area.
man,
Okay.
why we dude, I swear I want to go through all the interviews and collect the times where people were like, "Yeah, that was a really good question, but I can't answer it, or I'm not gonna, or I just don't have a." I swear on my life, like I can't, like I swear it happens at least once a fucking episode where
So
it's like,
I'm just going to assume that Spaceship Yamada is your theme song, your
Okay,
soundtrack.
I could live with that. I could live with that. Sure.
well, how about this then?
That's your favorite anime, and you had to find everything about it. Hold on, sir.
Oh,
I say because you found it, so you were just like, I have to see everything of it.
Yep.
I'm like, all right, well, if that's the case, I'm sure you love the scores and like the sound
Yep.
effects
Yep.
and
For
everything.
sure. For sure.
So
I
yeah,
went. I went to. This is a stupid story, but I'll tell it anyway. I made my first trip to Japan. My wife and my kid and I went to Japan in 2010, and we went to
wait,
see the
wait,
lot.
wait, wait, hold on. You can finish the story, but you went to Japan and you still use a fucking fork instead of
Yeah.
chopsticks.
Yeah.
All right, proceed.
It's these hands. They don't have it. Yeah, we went to Japan so I could see the Space Battleship Yamato live action movie.
Oh, no.
So we flew in. We flew out on a Monday and landed on a Tuesday because it takes that long to get to Japan. On Wednesday, I saw the movie, and we went around and did some stuff. Thursday, did a bunch of stuff. I went out that night, saw the movie a second time. Friday, we flew home. So I traveled whatever however many thousands of miles that is to be there, like 48 72 hours
Okay.
and watch
Yeah,
this movie. So yeah, it looms pretty large, I guess.
yeah, that's definitely the soundtrack to your life then, Tom. But how about this, man? What if you could pick a narrator?
well, that's a good one.
Well, I mean, obviously, like the most obvious candidate for that, is Stan.
But
Like
Oh,
not only could he do would he do the narration and all, you'd have that Stan bombast to it, that cadence. So yeah, it'd probably be Stan.
that
I
would
could
be
just see a
wonderful.
schizophrenic, somebody not schizophrenic, but somebody with a multiple personality in their minds having Morgan Freeman and Stan Lee. Can you imagine that one?
Yep.
That I just had that thought.
That would
I
that
was like,
would.
that would be hilarious. Like in your mind, just Morgan Freeman and Stan Lee telling you what you should be doing
I just want to know
or
why'd
you
you
are
hate
doing.
why'd you hate Magic as a kid, and how you not even gonna have a favorite character nowadays, Tom? Is it just because you edit too much and you're like, oh, like you see so many and you're like, it's a list, or is it because you just don't think like I need an answer to both of those questions.
Well, for
Why
the
you
for
hate
the for
Magic,
the
man? What you
for the
do?
second one, no, I'm gonna do the second one first. The reality of all the characters is, like, once you're talking about the Marvel characters, pretty much they do whatever I tell them to do. And so, again, to some degree, they're all like bottles. They're all like empty bottles, and you can put whatever stuff in the bottle that you want. And maybe that's an iced tea, or maybe that's a hard liquor, or maybe that's some orange juice or whatever. Same bottle, same thing. So I don't, I have characters that appeal to me more than others, but a favorite character, you kind of have to be on the outside of it to have that. You have to love that character, because of who and what they are, or the performance. If it's a real live, actor portraying that and so forth. Once you're inside, you kind of know how the sausage is made, and you help to make it. So you affect that too much, and so to some degree, they all become the same thing. Ilyana Rasputin. Again, I was, coming up and reading these books in the '80s, and I remember like she was introduced as just Colossus's little kid sister, and then Chris did all that weird stuff, aging her up in Limbo and the Soul Sword and all this stuff. And there's some stuff in that if you kind of go back and read it again today, it's some creepy ass stuff. And so that character, was always a little skeevy to me. And every once in a while, Chris would drop a line in as he was writing or whatnot, and I'd go, "Ooh, that's not." So even as a young reader, I was like, "Nope, nope, I don't want to know. I don't want to think about that." Whatever, whatever your freak is, I don't need to know about it. So that's that.
His face, man, is great. What's wrong, Unknown? You good?
I just no, I love that response because I kind of vaguely remember some of the things you're referring to, and correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't it a little Lannister-esque, we'll say?
There was some of that. There was a lot of, just all of it was just kind of icky when it came to that character at that point.
Yeah.
And so I didn't like it. It didn't appeal to me, and I stayed away from it. I wasn't reading New Mutants at that point because nope, don't want it.
All right, now here's the real question. Here's the real question. Have you ever farted in someone's general direction?
Again, kind of like your question about the drop. Some would say that's a daily occurrence. Have you been listening for like the last 90 minutes?
Yes, sir.
I don't know that I haven't been doing it here, so
oh my goodness. All right.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Hardaway.
So what's your favorite candy bar?
I like anything that's a Reese's. I like the Reese's brand. It's not really a candy bar. Most of them are, peanut butter cups, but they do a lot of, bars, Reese's Sticks or Nutrageous or any of that stuff. So the Reese's family of candy.
Okay, well, let's just. I'm gonna totally flip this again. I assume there's some of the Marvel films that you're anticipating that are coming up on the upcoming slate because you've obviously at least touched some of the stories that they're about to be based on in some capacity, right?
Sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There's going to be parts that, because it's a lot that they're getting ready to cover through Phase 6 as far as with the Kang Dynasty and the Secret Wars, right? But
right. I edited the Kang Dynasty.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't know what they're doing in their thing, but
yeah,
I did the Avengers story that had that name.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So they're going to take parts of what you edited at least because that's what they always do. They've done it very, very well, in my opinion, the Marvel films. But your favorite character as a kid was the Flash. So I'm curious, what do you think of that film as far as what they've shown so far? And what do you think of the fact, like, 'cause I've never heard of the MCU have problems with an actor like that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, well, that's a whole other kettle of fish. Like, I don't know enough about what the actual shit was there to really comment on it, other than to go, obviously, my God, that's a huge problem. You know, and hugely problematic to even open that movie. Like, I don't even know how you release it past a certain point, but you know, it seems like they've invested in it, they've done it, they've finished it, and you know, the test screenings and things that I've heard about, people have said, yeah, it's been pretty good. So you know, they may feel like they can just bowl their way through it and so forth. You know, again, putting that aside, I thought I thought the Ezra Miller Flash was the best part of Justice League, but I didn't necessarily love the character. Again, partly because it wasn't really my Flash. For one thing, I think the suit looks awful, uh, and the photos that we've seen of the new suit, I don't. I mean, they're better, but not that much better. And that's a totally superficial thing to get hung up on. Except, you know, so much of these characters are the visual, and so I just don't think it looks good. And so it's tough to embrace that when you know, the character just looks dopey to me. Looks bad.
Well, then I gotta know. I just gotta
That's
know,
what I
Tom.
thought. I
What's
thought
your
you looked
opinion?
weird as hell.
Well, I just gotta know what's your opinion of how he looks in the TV series, costume wise.
I like the TV suit, and I think it's gotten better as time has gone on. Like, you start with the first season of it, it was a little, you know, like it's sort of in the middle. It didn't completely embrace what it was, but it got close enough. And over the seasons, as they evolved it, you know, as they got confident and as their ratings were good, they went into it more. You know, you know, I'm pleased with that. That feels like the Flash to me. The stuff that I've seen feels like somebody dressing up, you know, in their Flash cosplay, and you know, so. But again, when we actually see footage, like all anybody's seen is a couple of still shots and things. When we see footage, it may look fine. Who knows? Like, they can do a lot in post and so forth. So I don't want to prejudge it. And again, the reactions that you know, people have had so far have been good, and I want to like it. I want to go to see a Flash movie and enjoy it. So
I hate to be
you
the guy, but that man's nugget shape is what ruined it for me. I do not know how
yeah,
they're gonna fix that. But look, if I wanted to see Martian Manhunter in a red suit, as skinny as possibly can be, that's what I would look at right there. The image that I see, the back of his skull is elongated, like it's one of the Conehead's kids
yeah.
running super fast.
Hardaway,
All
Hardaway,
right.
Hardaway. I swear to God, would you shut the hell up? Like,
What?
you're physically disparaging. You're being an asshole, Hardaway. How about that? Let's just leave it at that, man. Like, come on.
Suit. It's not
The
even
man-
his head. His
the
head
man-
looks fine without the suit.
Oh, you're saying with the suit. Okay, I thought you were saying Ezra
Yeah.
Miller's fucking head, and I was about to be like,
Yeah,
Jesus,
no,
bro.
it's that weird. It's that weird.
Okay.
Yeah, that weird headpiece.
Fair
It
enough,
doesn't.
bro. I thought you were just
It
talking about.
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't look good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Can
what
I
That
say?
whole suit doesn't. It just doesn't look good.
Yeah, I fully agree with you, Tom. As far as like, I would love this film to be good, because when I've seen that your favorite character was the Flash, that's sort of like probably Lobo, Hitman, and a couple that are like more obscure. Like, if you're looking at like characters that have been in the Justice League, actually Lobo was in the Justice League at one point. Now that I think about it, it was the dark version, whatever. I know it was the JLA. But Flash has always been one of my favorite characters, and I think it's something that I love on your site, man. Some of the stuff they've retconned with everybody, like some of the top
Yep.
fives you get into.
Mhm.
Do you think that's become a problem? And out of the major two, who do you think does it more?
Well, I think there's no question that DC does it more.
Okay, I was
You kind of can't turn around, but for them erasing their entire continuity
yeah.
and trying to reset it or trying to start again. You know, we do stuff we do a lot of nip and tuck work over the course of stuff, because none of these things were really were designed to still be going 60 years later. So you kind of have to do some of it, but we try to keep it all together. It doesn't mean everything that we do is wonderful. We make mistakes and all too, but just in terms of sheer quantity, they do it a lot more than we do.
Okay, I just because firstly, I fully agree, Tom. I don't think it's debatable as far as if you look at how they handle some of their crises, even as far as they're just really full series resets, and it's like here's a whole new origin for Superman, and it's pretty much the same, but we're changing these three things and whatever. This is just how it is, and I don't know. I feel Marvel has done a way better job at like you could pick up and read almost anything, and part of it is probably going to hold the continuity of 616 or some other universe within the Marvel universe. If you're like, you picked up the Age of Apocalypse or,
Right,
the Ultimate Universe or something like that, then it's obviously not 616 until you merge them, which I love, but whatever. I mean, the Ultimate in 616.
Yep.
And I think they're better at handling things like that, even in that aspect, which is what makes me kind of excited for Secret Wars, with the fact that they're starting this all the multiverse and everything, and now they're going to get to the Secret Wars. And I'm very curious as to which one they're going to get into more, as far as whether it's going to be the original or if they're going to be influenced a lot by the one more current one that ran, where it was
Right.
Fantastic Doom and Black Panther. Unfortunately, that's so unfortunate in my opinion. That's the most unfortunate part. That if they do that story, that Chadwick Boseman will not be able to be part of it.
Yeah. Yep.
'Cause it would, yeah, it would have been phenomenal. I think it would have, yeah.
I just
But
want to see Spider-Man, Luke Cage, and Wolverine wrecking the out of a scroll. Shit, like y'all can say whatever you want, but when those three went into that scroll shit, you just see Luke Cage all like and just chaos going everywhere. I loved it. That was like my shit. I was just like, yes. You're like three of like some of the heaviest hitters in Marvel, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because Luke Cage is not a joke. Spider-Man, if you just take away his happiness, which that's why when every time something bad happens to Spider-Man, something really bad is about to happen to a villain. It's like that's my favorite part about Spider-Man. And then you got Wolverine, who's just having a bad day every day.
okay, and
Like,
we just got to flip to the questionnaire real quick though, because maybe I am your therapist, Tom. Maybe the mouse sent me here because they thought you needed a little mental help. And typically, people at least answer the damn question, except Fabian. Of course, Fabian didn't. Fabian was like, "I'm not 4. I don't know. That was for colors. My bad." He thought he might have said the same thing for shapes. I don't have his questionnaire handy. I know he said that for colors though. But yeah, what if I was sent by the mouse? Tom, they said you needed therapy.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Fair enough. But yeah,
Color me skeptical.
People do typically answer that question, Tom, just so you're aware. As far as how do people typically answer it? I mean, I've had several, but in all honesty, it's the favorite, huh?
You're gonna tell them the favorite answer, the best answer?
Yeah. As far as the favorite shape, the best answer we've ever gotten to someone, and I can't, man. We've done so many of these damn things. I can't remember who it was. I need to write it down. But it was my wife for his favorite shape. And I was like, that's the best answer you can ever bloody well give for favorite.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I've had people that would give for least and favorite the exact same shape. But yeah, they typically do answer. Tom, what kind of suspicious activity are you up to over there at Marvel? Huh?
Well, I'm just I'm not easily persuaded by peer pressure and that sort of thing.
Oh well,
plus I got a crowbar, so I'm feeling pretty good about my chances.
His favorite shape is the shape of you.
Look, I need to call Dan Slott. Okay, just don't worry about it.
Crowbar in the head.
No, I'm gonna call Dan Slott, and that's all I know. All right, don't worry about it. All right?
I think that's cool. You do have a crowbar though, due to the sheer fact that if a zombie apocalypse were to happen, you're like set. You have a weapon in a way to get through anything.
It's a good tool. It's a handy thing to have.
I just hope if it ever pops off, it doesn't like do any kind of Marvel zombie effect to where like there's some dude that was a true hard ass when he was in life. Oh, he's a zombie now, like, and now he's just like, I don't need to deal with like Jet Li and fucking John Cena and Brock goddamn Lesnar and Tito Ortiz as zombies if they have their full capacity of skills when they're zombies. I'm cool on that BS. I'm really not, man. Look, it's been a pleasure. Man. I can't think of any more. Man, I could think of 1,000 more questions, really, but we get really specific, and I think it just start getting real nerdy. Not that that's not the point of this particular quest, but that's neither here nor there. I also have to edit the son of a bitch. You know.
If there is a Marvel comic that you could live in,
Oh no! See, you can't.
now shut your
No,
face.
but you get.
If
You
there,
get okay, go
no,
ahead.
no, you shut your face because each comic has its own tone and energy. You know what I'm saying? So if there is a comic part of the Marvel universe that you could live in, which pocket would you be in?
I think I'd be in the Jack Kirby part. I'd be in the Kirby section of the Marvel universe. There'd be a lot of crackle and a lot of explosiveness going on. So that's that I think is it.
Well, I will say,
High
man,
energy, I
your
see.
choice of power would serve you well. I think almost in whatever universe you went to, in the fact that you could read, understand, and speak anything. Especially if you went to the MCU in that era, that means you could do magic.
Sure.
You
Sure.
know. Like literally, man, if you think about that, if you put yourself in a comic book universe where magic exists with that superpower, um, you become very powerful very quickly.
Sure.
You
Sure.
know, and like you could take that to a real dark level. So like, let's say magic existed and you could read it, right, and use it, Tom. Right? Is there something you would do to this world if you just had true full force magic? Like Doctor
I
Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, whatever the hell, Scarlet Witch, alter reality, right? Is there something you would look around at this world and go, you know what?
I think I think I would make everybody just a little bit smarter. There
I'm
there
not even.
seems to be a real excess of stupid in the world today, and everybody could use a couple of more intelligence points on their D&D scorecard. So I think that would be my move there.
I need you to put 3 points in your permanent bonus spot for your intelligence rating right there. There you go. Yeah.
Yep.
Here's a ring of intelligence for you. A ring of intelligence for you. You need a whole fucking tiara.
That's literally, I think, probably one of the best things you could do for the planet as a whole is if you did that, just to where people were more cognitive of the bigger picture as opposed to looking at small pieces of things. But that's a whole long semantic. Oh my God, I'm about to get
Hold
into
on.
crazy. Do you know what MK Ultra is, Tom?
No.
Oh God, don't get started.
You don't know what MK Ultra is, Tom?
I don't.
That's something you should Google. It's actually a real thing in our government. It's a conspiracy theory that's actually legit 100% real.
And you can find the redacted documents. Yeah, you can find the redacted documents on government sites. When I ran NFGR, which was an online radio that we ran for a while, I actually even interviewed somebody who was one of the subjects who said that he is one of the guys that was there and assassinated Kennedy. He just wasn't willing to take the shot. And it's a really crazy. If you'd like it, Tom, I can send you the link to that particular interview. But it was a hell of a thing. And if nothing else, it was a very bad thing our government did to us, the American people. We won't get into it anymore because it can get really deep seated, and then we can get into a lot of conspiracy theories.
Why did you even bring that up?
Because I wanted to know if Tom knew what MK Ultra was. And I say that specifically because I think it's important, as far as the grander scheme of things, for people to know that. Because, like I said, it is an official government program. You're never even going to be able to learn everything that's going on within it, but it shows that our government will do whatever the fuck it wants to get its own end, and it really don't give a shit about us because of what they did to these random ass people and what it's done to them. Do your research, y'all. I'm not
That,
gonna get into it and get me and Hardaway and
for
Tom
one,
all
that's
fucking
not even
shot.
this. For one, he don't need to. I don't even understand why you even brought it up. That's one. Two, it's not even have anything to do with comic books of the sort and whatnot, unless you are writing a comic book about the question.
Okay,
Three,
firstly,
hold on.
I want you to stop the Department of Truth by Image. I had to double check that shit. I wasn't gonna fuck up the publisher, but I got it up there. Totally brings up all of that and is based in very much conspiracy theories. Don't sit there and tell me it ain't involved in comics when I guarantee,
Image,
Tom, how
image.
many conspiracy theories are there within comic books about comic books? Let's ask that.
There's probably a lot. There's probably a bunch of them.
What's a good one? You know a good one?
I don't know if I know a good one. I know all the same sort of stuff that everybody argues back and forth on. Of did Jack Kirby do everything and Stan steal everything from him, or was Stan involved to what degree, and what degree was it one guy versus the other guy, and all of that stuff. And depending on who you are, you have an opinion somewhere on that spectrum.
All right. Well, screw all those conspiracy theories and whatnot, because we were talking Marvel, not Image, in the Department of Truth. I actually have a question for you, good sir, and whatnot. Have you seen Fist of the North Star? You know about that, right?
Sure. Back in the day. Yep.
All right. So I was thinking about a hero that was absolutely insane, like a character that's insane and kind of like Moon Knight, but not godlike with the whole lunar moon thing. All right. No, you know that ordeal when people like to harm others and then heal them.
Sure.
All right. So think of a superhero that has the power to heal, which but really it's just cellular growth, like rapid cellular growth. Okay. So if you get cut, rapid cellular growth, you heal from that. All right. What happens when this person hits you with that power and you're fully healed and you start getting cancer nodes? And they keep giving you cancer nodes. And Fist of the North Star, you. Or what if they just start kidnapping villains and cutting them up and healing them and torturing them to make them better part of society? I was just thinking that would be a pretty interesting character and wanted to know what you think of essentially a serial harmer, because they're not killing. It's a serial harmer killer who ends up creating a cult of villains.
It sounds like it could be cool.
Okay, firstly, I apologize, Tom. Obviously, he's the one that needs the therapist, not you. Right? But that's neither here nor there, man. I do want to say, look, it's been a pleasure, Tom. Right? Before we go, can I just get you to go? Yo, this is Tom. Fuck, I'm gonna fuck it up. Brevoort? I fucked it up.
Brevoort. You're
Brevoort.
fine.
Brevoort.
Brevoort.
Look, I wasn't looking at it, and I like the spelling of it wouldn't come to my head properly, and then I cut out an O. Sorry. Right. Make sure you're checking out the questionnaire every Wednesday at 7 or whenever it drops, because I've really been dropping episodes on random days here. So look, we've done a lot, man, with a lot of great people, even including people over there at Marvel, and I appreciate every damn one of you for coming on the show, hanging out on this quest that we are on, just to let people know. Get your comic on.
How y'all can deal with us? Like 5 minutes into an interview with a host like us, I would have just been like, "No, I'm good."
Well, I got a lot of years, so I'm used to stuff being a little whacked out.
I don't know how to take that, Tom. I don't know if I should be offended or not, but whatever. You've been pleasant, bro. So yeah, can I just get you to spit that real quick, though?
Yeah, I'll try to do it. I gotta remember it.
Yeah, your
Hi,
name.
this is
Oh
Yep.
shit! Sorry.
Hi, this is Tom Brevoort, and you're listening to the Questionnaire podcast. Check it out every Wednesday at 7 or when the episodes drop, because sometimes it takes them a while to edit them and to put them together for your enjoyment.
Damn it! That's not why it is. It's because I've been doing so many episodes. Like, how you gonna try and make me sound bad, Tom?
That's
It's
great.
because we've been doing
That's
like
great.
it's because either one, we've been doing like 2-3 episodes a damn week, or two, I've got episodes that are like 2 hours long, and I'm like, I don't want to put it all out as one episode. I'm gonna break it into 2 parts. You know, I got to do that with yours. I got to do that with
That's
Erica's.
all. That's all
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
That's all fine. You can
gotta
explain
make
that in
me.
the show notes.
You gotta make me
What
sound
you
like I'm an
said was
asshole.
amazing, great. Thank you. Because Fabian even calls him Mr. Factor. He ain't even the unknown factor. He's Mr. Factor, the Fabian. So it's like the more our guests fuck with him,
The more I
makes me
rightly love it, because it means we're all on a quest together. To let you all know out there, get your comic on. That's what you need to do. Look, make sure you click all the links in the
back.
description. I don't even know how many links are gonna be in the description for Tom. It's look, it's gonna be a lot because Tom's done a lot, you know. But I guess the main one would probably be Marvel.com.
And if you like
And then
this,
your
you
website,
gotta send
obviously, which is
research.
look. Can I say too, if you wanna get in depth about everything as far as what everything Tom has done, as far as and then just his opinion on so many different things within comics that I don't want to know how much time it would take me to read everything on your website. Like, and I watched a couple videos today. I read a bunch. It's there's a lot of material there, Tom, and the fact that you've done all that as well as you have done what you've done at Marvel. You know what I mean? It's quite amazing, man. And I wish you all the best as far as going forth with Marvel. I love what y'all are doing, and I love that y'all are able to create this product that has made these films that have normalized comics, even if some people still look at comic book readers and go, "You fucking nerd." You know, whatever. You're wearing a fucking Avengers shirt. Shut up, you fucking nerd. You know what I mean? Like, I just watched the movie. I don't
well,
care.
thank you. Like,
You're still in it.
we appreciate that and all the support and certainly all the reading over the years. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, man. It's been a pleasure. And look, for y'all out there, like, subscribe, click that bell because we got way more coming up. Check out the episodes in the past if you haven't. There's plenty there, and it's been a
And we
pleasure.
have so many more Midwest goodbyes for you.
I mean, that's probably definitely the truth. We're both from the Midwest. What you gonna do? It's how we do things over here. But this is episode. I'm gonna fill in that blank with the
452.
sound.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Not really.
I hope you enjoyed the questionnaire and have a good night. This is your co-host, JD Day Hardaway, and that's nigga.
Oh, I am the unknown factor. For some minute, I thought she was pointing to Tom for a minute. Whatever. And this has been Tom. Yeah, up man. Check out all his work. Like I said, the links in the description. Take care, y'all. And give that shit a thumbs up.
And subscribe.